Anthony Taylor here live in the Upper Cumberland Weather Studio. We're going to go ahead and launch into continuous storm coverage at this point in time. We do have this line of storms knocking on our door for our northwestern areas, which I will show you right here on radar. Macon County, you're going to be first in line. No warnings in effect yet for our immediate viewing area. We do have a tornado warning, though, just to the north that includes much of Allen County, including Scottsville, Kentucky. Again, this does not extend into Macon County, but we are watching this. There has been a little bit of rotation indicated with this storm, so that is something we're watching for. Still seeing a little bit of rotation embedded within this, just to the south of Scottsville, Kentucky. If this holds together, and again, it's a pretty weak rotation, this would be moving into northeastern portions of Macon County here in the next 15 to 20 minutes. But again, it's pretty weak rotation. I don't know if the Weather Service office in Nashville will decide to issue a tornado warning on this for us. We'll just have to wait and see. Again, pretty weak rotation with that, but it is something we're watching, though, and one of the reasons I'm going ahead and launching into coverage now, even without any active warnings. We do have a tornado watch in effect until 3 a.m. You see that scrolling at the bottom of your screen there. We do have a big old cluster of storms here, big line, moving on in, knocking on our door as advertised. We've been talking about this the last couple of days, and here it is. So these storms are coming. They are loud, copious amount of lightning with these storms, so you'll hear plenty of thunder. It'll probably scare the dogs, just FYI, to rattle the house. But we're also looking at the potential for gusty winds, perhaps damaging straight line winds, large hail, perhaps upwards of 2 inches in diameter, and we cannot rule out the potential of a tornado or two as this line rolls through. Again, no active warnings for our immediate viewing area, but we have a Boeing segment back here northwest of Nashville, and again, a pretty nasty cluster of storms here. I wouldn't be surprised if the Weather Service issues a new severe thunderstorm warning here very, very soon for portions of Davidson, Sumner, maybe even to Macon County as well, Trousdale County. So that will getting a little ahead of myself with that, but again, I would not be surprised if we see a new warning issued here soon. So we'll go ahead and get out ahead of it. I know a lot of you have storm anxiety. That's why we're here. So we're going to cover these storms again as they roll through the region overnight tonight. These will move through rather quickly. It'll take about 2 to maybe 3 hours for these to move from northwest to southeast. And once they're out of here, that's it as far as our severe weather threat goes. So once we get to about 2, maybe as late as 3 a.m., but 2 to 3 a.m., somewhere in that window, that'll be it for our severe weather worries. Certainly the farther northwest you are, like Lafayette and Hartsville, again, these storms are knocking on your door. They'll be to you very soon. So here in the next hour, maybe hour and a half, your severe threat will end. And it just depends on how far south and east you are as to how long that threat will continue. I want to show you the view from Hermitage Springs in western Clay County. We got the camera pointed towards this cluster of storms up in Kentucky, and you can see it's a tremendous amount of lightning. Already beginning to rain now in Hermitage Springs, rain breaking out ahead of the line. That's something we'll have to watch for if this cell that's developing over Hermitage Springs were to intensify. That could become its own thing and could certainly cause some problems. Not saying that'll happen, but that is something we are watching out for. It's like the Weather Service is continuing that tornado warning north of us. But again, we're not, no active warnings right now in our immediate viewing area. Again, for the northwestern portion, that picks up with Macon and Trousdale and Clay counties. And again, no active warnings yet. But according to the Weather Service, a new warning is coming. They just mentioned that in the chat. So new warning coming. Your weather radio, your weather alerts app will soon be going off. Don't know what kind of warning this is going to be. I assume a severe thunderstorm warning, but it is coming. And we'll see that pop up on the screen here soon. So let's go ahead and go back to radar. The Weather Service is in the process of drawing up that polygon right now. It's the one great thing about having that communication line with the National Weather Service office in Nashville through the NWS chat system is I get alerted when they're going to issue a warning. So just in time with this stream. So for those asking about specific locations, we'll get into that. We got plenty of time to go here. If you're in Cookville, if you're in Livingston, it's going to be a little while before these storms get to you. You've got at least an hour and a half probably, maybe even a little bit longer, depending on how fast we can get this line through. So everybody's going to see a piece of this line. There's your new severe thunderstorm warning. Just popped up there on your screen. Should be scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Yes, it is. And you can see all that is included in this warning. This includes northern Smith County, Trousdale County, all of Macon County, northwestern Jackson County, and most of Clay County. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. This is a long duration warning in effect until 11:45 p.m. That would be Central Time if we have anybody watching in the Eastern Time Zone. So 11:45 p.m. for the potential of damaging straight line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail. Emergency management in Stewart County, that's well back off to our northwest, but they saw these storms roll through not that long ago, reporting about 26% of customers without power. So these are very intense storms, and it's the same cluster that will be moving through here. So I won't be surprised if we hear of power outages tonight. We'll probably have some trees down, that sort of thing. And again, just wait and see as far as just how strong these storms are as they roll through. But again, just kind of the standard things, you know, with power outages, it can be expected in some spots. Of course, no way to predict where that will happen, but it is something we'll be monitoring for. But again, there is your warning polygon. The big yellow flashing polygon is a severe thunderstorm warning, again, in effect till 11:45 p.m. And again, that is for the potential of damaging straight line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail. You can see all the counties included in this warning. The Weather Service did not hold back on this one for sure. But again, this line of storms currently extends through northern Cheatham County on into Robertson County, moving through Springfield right now, moving into northwestern Sumner County, and again, it is continuing to move towards the south and east at about 55 miles per hour, so highway speed. These are fast-moving storms. Your leading edge of your winds, your strongest winds will be on the leading edge of this. So again, if you're in northwestern Macon County, this will be to you very soon. It's teetering on the borderline of y'all in Allen County there to your north in Kentucky. So again, this is all moving towards the southeast, again, about 55 miles per hour. Again, that is your severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go back to the Hermitage Springs Tower cams. They're one of our newest cameras here in western Clay County. We're looking towards the northwest up into Kentucky. Because see, it's already storming in Hermitage Springs pretty good. Got a pretty decent cell beginning to break out across Clay County. This isn't considered part of the warning. The warned portion of the storm would be to your northwest as far as what prompted the warning, but still a pretty strong cell beginning to break out across Clay County right now as we speak. But there is stronger storms back to your west, so we got a couple different things to watch there. But you see a tremendous amount of lightning. These are very electrical storms. You can see there in the distance, plenty of lightning embedded within these storms. And again, we'll have torrential rain will accompany these two. And all areas of the Upper Cumberland will get in on this eventually. So no matter where you are, it will storm. Now, as far as how strong the storm is, remains to be seen. But all areas, again, will see storm activity from this. I think Hurricane Halley's grabbed hold of a Roku remote because the screen in front of me has shifted to something else. So doesn't affect the stream, but that is an interesting note there. I'll look at the chat though. Again, we're still awaiting these storms, the brunt of these, to move into our northwestern areas. As I go back to radar, I know a lot of you are asking about different locations. I guess now would be a good time real quickly to look at the future radar. This is the future tracker here, and we'll move this forward in time. And just note that this is not exact, but the time there is at the top of your screen. You can see where it says valid 5:16 and then the timestamp. So this is what radar may look like at around midnight. I think this is a little bit slow. I think these storms will already be moving into Smith and Jackson and Clay counties by midnight, if not sooner. But continuing south and east from there. And you can see even by 2 a.m., as these storms are knocking on the door of McMinnville, Spencer, Sparta, Crossville, still holding their own, still strong. So this threat of damaging straight line winds and hail will continue again over the next few hours. Cannot rule out the potential of a tornado or two as well embedded within this line. But by 3 a.m., all this activity against shifting south and east of us, and our severe weather threat should be over with by that point, if not sooner. And as you can see, as we work through the morning hours, by 11 a.m., absolutely nothing going on. The sun should be coming out, and highs will climb into the 80s. So the daytime hours of Saturday will be fantastic. No weather worries at all. It's just we got to get this nasty line of storms on through here, and it will be nasty for most of us. So just FYI, no matter where you are, you're probably going to get the lightning, you're going to get the heavy rain and some wind, but we're really going to focus again on that severe weather potential with these storms. Again, severe thunderstorm warning issued just in the last 5 minutes for the areas you see in this yellow polygon. And this warning again in effect until 11:45 p.m. It's a long duration severe thunderstorm warning. And again, sorry, I'm reading something there off screen. Damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail, again, are your concerns with this warning. So if you're in the yellow polygon, again, it's late, so I know you're probably already indoors, but I would not advise heading out or doing any, I don't know what you'd be doing this late at night unless you're heading home from work or something, but I would not advise being out of the roads until this passes. It's going to be a very intense storm rolling through. We do have reported power outages well back to our northwest in Stewart County from the same storm line within the last 30 minutes or so. About 26% of the county there is without power. Again, that's well outside our viewing area, but it's from the same storm line. And we've had, it's been a very active night. We had a tornado move through Somerset, Kentucky within the last 30 minutes, a destructive tornado. I've seen video of it. It's horrifying. I'll just put it that way. I hope they're done with that kind of craziness tonight, but as far as the parameters of this system, a lot of that activity will likely remain north of us, but we could still get a spin up within this line, and we'll have to watch for little features like this here in Clay County breaking out ahead of this line, as this could grow on its own and become its own supercell storm. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, but right now it's nothing of imminent concern. That tornado warning in Allen County, by the way, was allowed to expire, so no tornado heading towards Macon County right now, so that's good news. We're looking at a radar indicated rotation there, nothing confirmed, but again, that has since expired. We will investigate this line, though. Right now, not seeing any tightenings, so to speak. Not seeing any signs of rotation within this right now. So that's good news, but damaging straight line winds, again, are possible along this line as it rolls through. Again, very intense storms, a lot of lightning with these. Let's go back to that Hermitage Springs camera again. As we have a pretty good view of this storm, you'll be able to see the lightning here flashing, illuminating the sky. Again, it is currently raining in Hermitage Springs, but the heaviest activity is still back to your northwest. If you're in northwestern Macon County, this is knocking on your door right now, the heaviest activity. So you're going to see your winds pick up here soon. Again, winds up to 60 miles per hour are possible with this. So again, you want to be indoors, away from windows. We're not looking at an imminent tornado threat or anything, but still take this seriously as it rolls on in. Again, very intense storm here moving through the area. I appreciate all of you tuning in, though. Again, I am Anthony Taylor here live in the Upper Cumberland Weather Studio. We're in this for the long haul as these storms roll through. We'll be live here for at least a couple of hours. I would say 2.5 hours, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how long it takes to get this line on through here. But I am here. That is what we do here, and we will continue with our coverage until these storms move on out. And again, here in the next few hours, once we get approach 2 a.m. or so, our severe threat should be completely over with for all areas. The farther northwest you are, though, the area is currently under the severe thunderstorm warning. Your threat will likely end in the next hour to hour and a half. So, again, it just depends on where you're located as to how soon this storm threat will end for you. But, again, this isn't going to be well into the morning hours type situation. Again, by 2, 3 a.m., somewhere in that time frame, our severe threat should completely end for all locations, which is welcome news. But in the meantime, we do have to monitor these storms closely as they roll through, as they do present a severe weather threat. Just checking in with the Weather Service on the latest from them. No new information there. So we're just going to ride with this. We'll look at our tower cams. Certainly as this rolls through, we can look at another tower cam. Haydenburg, northwestern Jackson County. We'll take a look at the view from there. Not storming yet, but we can likely see some lightning off in the distance from this view. We can also look at Gainsboro as well. And again, these storms are still a good ways away from these locations we're looking at. We're just taking a look at the tower cam view to see what we can see from a distance. We'll likely see some lightning again off in the distance from these views until we have active storms moving across these areas. Still seeing a lot of lightning being detected. Again, now moving into Macon County, so you can likely hear the thunder right now. Rain beginning to pick up here near Crossroads, Barefoot, Hayesville. And this again will be moving into Lafayette here probably in the next 15 minutes or so. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning for the potential of damaging straight line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour and quarter size hail. Take a look at another product here to investigate where the hail is located. Not seeing any big time hail that would pose an imminent risk to Macon County other than this little blip here east of Scottsville, but that would be moving more in the direction of Salina with time. But back to the west, might have some pea to dime size hail, at least from what I'm seeing right now. Now, certainly these storms could intensify, so that is something we'll be watching for. But right now, I don't know that we're seeing any quarters falling from the sky, which is good. Quarter size hail can certainly put a dent in your vehicle. But again, we're not seeing that right now. So, but it is something we will watch. Move around different radars here. Again, for those just now tuning in, I am Anthony Taylor. I'm live in the Upper Cumberland Weather Studio. We are doing continuous live severe weather coverage, monitoring these storms as they roll through the region. It's something we do here, and we're in it for the long haul until these storms clear on out of here, however late that is, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., hopefully not 3 a.m., hopefully sooner than that. For those who donated, I do certainly appreciate that. Again, those options are at the bottom of your screen. We are community supported by y'all. I announced this last week, but as of a couple of weeks ago, this is now what I do for a living. Upper Cumberland Weather is it. I had a daytime, or a day job, so to speak, 5 days a week, business hours, Monday through Friday. That wasn't this, with the state of Tennessee for the better part of the last 6 years nearly. And I took a leap of faith and have jumped into this full time. This has always been my passion, and that was always the goal with Upper Cumberland Weather when I started this, was to eventually be full-time with it, and we're now at that point. But that means your support is certainly needed now more than ever. So again, it's greatly appreciated. We have tremendous local business partners. You see them scrolling in the corner of your screen there. They get a great advertisement on our Upper Cumberland Weather channel that streams 24/7 over on YouTube and the Hub Plus app. So if you have a local business, please reach out to us. I've had several local business owners reach out to me today and over the last few days. I'll be getting back to you over this weekend, the first of next week, and hopefully we can get some deals done and just keep this thing growing. It's not just about supporting me, it's about supporting what Upper Cumberland Weather is, allowing us to invest in better technologies and to continue growing and ultimately duplicate myself, triplicate if that's a word. Hire people, hire meteorologists to work alongside me, so it's not just me here. We can send this thing off to the moon and beyond. But again, we're getting off track there, but just again, want to thank y'all who have contributed. It does mean a great deal. And again, those options are at the bottom of your screen there. I've added that graphic there just to call that out a little bit better without having to show a separate screen and get distracted from what we're looking at with the storms. But This is a pretty messy line as of right now. Doesn't mean these aren't strong storms. A lot of lightning again embedded within this line, and a tremendous amount of rain, torrential downpours. But we may not be seeing winds quite to severe strength. I'm not saying it's not possible, but right now I like what I see as far as the somewhat disorganization of these storms they roll into Macon County. They're still strong, don't get me wrong, very intense, but they're not. We're not seeing like a Boeing structure or anything where you would suspect to see a 60, 70, maybe an 80-mile-per-hour winds. We're not seeing that right now. That does not mean these storms won't turn on a dime and become stronger. That could very well happen. In fact, I anticipate that will happen at some point through the night. It usually does, and we're certainly in an environment supportive of that. If you stepped outside, it is soupy out there. It's muggy. It just don't feel right. It's got that feeling to the air that something's just off, and we definitely have plenty of energy for these storms to work with as they push through. So they're going to be intense. Again, you're going to get a lot of lightning. Some areas will have more lightning than others. Some areas will have heavier rain than others. But again, they will be pretty intense for all of us. Let's go back to that Hermitage Springs camera again. This is our closest camera to the action. I made a couple of adjustments to our graphics here. I think one cool thing of note here, and I'll go full screen with this, is in the top right corner of your screen, I've added the county. So whenever we go to these different camera views, if you don't know where Hermitage Springs is, well, you can now look and say, oh, it's in Clay County. Another one, Rock City. Again, nowhere near the storm right now. Rock City is barely included in this severe thunderstorm warning, but again, Smith County. And I had a stream a while back. Somebody was asking, where's Rock City? Well, it's in Smith County, now you know. So that is one addition we've added there to all of our tower cams here in our immediate viewing area. So hopefully that'll help y'all out some as we move along. But again, let's go back to the Hermitage Springs camera again as it's closest to the action. Your winds will be picking up here soon. And again, seeing quite a bit of lightning with this heavy rain. Rain will definitely pick up here soon. As we just continue to watch a pretty stout storm again roll into the area, into Clay County. Lafayette, the heaviest of this will be to you within the next probably 5 minutes or so. So the rain is just now beginning to pick up in Lafayette, but the heaviest activity is just to your northwest, back towards Westmoreland and across northwestern portions of Macon County. Man, I'll see if I can get this on screen here in a minute. Somerset, Kentucky got hit hard by a violent tornado about 45 to 50-ish minutes ago. I guess closer to an hour ago. And I believe it may still be on the ground too as it moves. It's well away from us, not moving towards us, but again, associated with the same storm system. So scary stuff, frightening stuff indeed. Certainly our prayers go out to those in the Somerset, Kentucky area. But let's go back to radar again. We'll keep going back to that view occasionally as these storms work closer to Hermitage Springs. But again, Macon County, these storms are moving into your neck of the woods right now. Salina, these will be, it's already storming in Salina, but the roughest of the weather will be to you probably the next 15 to 20 minutes. Same for Hartsville, still back to your northwest, but the rain will begin to pick up here pretty soon. And then that heavier activity still probably a good 20 minutes or so away. Carthage, you're not included in this severe thunderstorm warning. By the way, shout out to Carthage. Carthage City Council got on the ball with the siren system. No longer is the tornado siren sounding for severe thunderstorm warnings. It's now only going off for tornado warnings, which is how it should be. That's how nearly all municipalities, I can't talk tonight. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Most cities are. And that's well recognized in the weather enterprise. So kudos to Carthage for doing the right thing there. Just want to shout y'all out. But again, y'all are not under the severe thunderstorm warning right now. As this line progresses, I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, will probably find ourselves in a severe thunderstorm warning at some point. Unless these storms were to randomly weaken, I don't think that's going to happen. Looks like they might be trying to get a little bit more organized as they move south and east. We'll have to watch, too. We could have an embedded circulation within this. It is something we're watching out for. We keep going back to velocity, looking for any sort of signs of potential rotation embedded within this. Not seeing anything that necessarily stands out to me, which is good, but it is something we're watching for. But damaging straight line winds certainly possible within this. Although not as organized as I would like to see this for a damaging wind threat. Not saying these won't be strong winds, but these storms can certainly become more organized in a hurry, especially in the environment we're in. So definitely going to be a concern as these storms continue to move towards the south and east again. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect till 11:45 p.m. I know a lot of you are asking about different areas. I don't want to say rest assured, but no matter where you are in the Upper Cumberland, you're going to get these storms. It's depending on where you're at, it's how long it'll take for these storms to get to you. So if you're in Cookeville, you're still a good hour or longer away from these storms reaching you. It'd be likely after midnight for y'all, Jamestown, Smithville, Livingston, about an hour or less. And then farther south, Crossville, Sparta, McMinnville, Spencer. It's going to be at least a couple of hours before these get to you. But they will get there. Don't worry, your turn is coming. So, but here, oh man, Somerset's under another tornado warning. That is going across the same exact area that last tornado. I'm starting to get sidetracked here, but man, and that is, wow. Wow. That's the same storm that produced the tornado in Somerset, and by all indications, it appears to still be on the ground. And that was an hour ago. So, long track, violent tornado right there. You notice, though, these are supercell storms. These aren't associated with the main line. This mess is staying away from us right now and hopefully will remain that way. But, man, that not a good situation up that way. For us, though, again, we have the squall line moving in. And really nothing much out ahead of it. I have a couple of showers trying to break out here, one north of Cookeville to the northwest of Allgood, another one just the southwest of Crossville, and a couple of cells here north of Livingston and Jamestown. Again, they're just some light rain showers, but we'll keep an eye on stuff like that. I think our main severe threat, again, is going to come with this line itself as it pushes through over the next few hours. And again, once this line moves through, that's it for our severe weather threat for the night. We have no additional severe weather worries tonight once this moves through. So once we get to about 2 a.m. or so, that will end our severe threat for the night and for the day. We don't have any storm worries today. Well, tomorrow, whatever, Saturday. The sun will come out and it'll be a pretty nice day. So again, just got to get this line on through here. There is a little bit of rain on the back side of it, so it may rain for a couple of hours once the leading edge of this moves through. But once it clears out, I'd say by daybreak, most of us should be dry and the sun will come out. We just got to get this line on through here. Again, no active tornado warnings in our viewing area, which is good. In fact, there's no tornado warnings at all in the state of Tennessee. So that's good news. Now, it's a different story to our northeast up into Kentucky, Somerset, under another tornado warning, and also Manchester, Kentucky. Not good. Not good for them. But that's not us right now. Do want to continue to take a look at our velocities here just to see any signs of possible rotation. Still not seeing anything that really stands out to me. Again, you're getting a pretty good gust of wind right now in Lafayette, Red Bull, and Springs along the leading edge of this. I say some pretty intense winds here where I'm drawing this line, where you have this sort of outflow boundary out ahead of the heavier activity. So very likely some gusty winds again moving through Lafayette. In fact, let's go back to that Hermitage Springs camera as this heavier stuff is now beginning to encroach upon y'all. You can see a lot of lightning again embedded within these storms. Winds haven't picked up yet in Hermitage Springs, but they will here again pretty soon. So stand by for that. We've had only blowing about 5 to 10 miles per hour right now in Hermitage Springs at our tower campsite. But again, that will likely pick up here very soon. But I'll keep an eye on that. On radar, it does appear these storms are beginning to get a little bit more organized. So that's something we'll have to watch again. They may pulse up and then weaken and pulse up and weaken as they move through. Certainly as they become more organized, that damaging wind threat will increase. So again, Lafayette, Hartsville, Red Bull and Springs, Salina, again, heads up for all of y'all with this severe thunderstorm warning. Not looking at an imminent tornado threat or anything, which is good. Doesn't mean something won't spin up, and we're watching closely for that. Of course, the Weather Service is also watching this very, very closely right now, too. I'll read some comments now. Haley says, was sitting outside in Lafayette, it was hot, then all of a sudden got cold. That would be that outflow boundary moving through, likely cooled the air down. Now it's about to become a huge downpour in a matter of moments in Lafayette. Twyla, there's Mike Witcher. He does the East Tennessee weather. He's a good resource out in East Tennessee you can keep up with. I don't think he would be live now, but he might be later on as these storms move into East Tennessee. As far as how these storms will evolve as they move south and east, again, that remains to be seen. A lot of unknowns. We'll just have to, again, watch these storms closely as they move on through. Lafayette, it is coming down now. You're getting the lightning and just all of it. So it is on top of you. The Weather Service is continuing the severe thunderstorm warning. Remains in effect till 11:45 p.m. Again, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail remain our greatest concerns. As far as hail goes, looks like we are seeing an uptick in hail here near Lafayette and points west along Highway 52 from Wickstown to New Harmony, moving towards Beach Hill and Beach Bottom. This will be passing near Pleasant Shade and Difficult, which is me. So we could have some hail perhaps up to quarter size in diameter with that, so that's something we'll watch. And this storm does appear to be intensifying a bit too as it moves southeast, so the storms might be trying to gain a little bit more traction as they continue to move along. So could get some more organization here. Let's go back to that Hermitage Springs camera. See the wind starting to pick up a bit here. See the camera starting to shake. It is to you in Hermitage Springs, and it will only pick up from here. So again, that's your live view. Kind of hard to see. Again, it's dark, so you're seeing the rain. Kind of hard to see what's happening off in the distance. But you do see the flashes of lightning occasionally. Lafayette will eventually have a tower cam in your vicinity here very, very soon. I don't have an exact timeline for that, but it should be very, very soon. But Hermitage Springs certainly a great addition because we can at least look in your direction now, so that's good. Because before we didn't really have a good view looking towards Lafayette, but now we do. Certainly Red Bull and Springs, I know this camera helps y'all too. You're pretty much next door neighbors to Hermitage Springs. Still seeing some signs of intensification with these storms as they move through Macon County. Very heavy rain occurring now just to the northeast of Lafayette, pushing towards Red Bull and Springs, Sycamore Valley, Gum Springs, Russell Hill, Willette. I keep looking at velocity. I got the camera pulled up now, but I'm also looking at a radar and just investigating everything I can for any signs of potential rotation. Not seeing anything right now, so that's good. We hope it stays that way. I do think we have some pretty decent wind here, though. Let me show you on radar. In fact, let's take this full so you can see it. But seeing indications maybe of 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. This would be with the outflow boundary out ahead of the heaviest rains. Just moved through Lafayette and Red Bull and Springs. Pushing into Hermitage Springs right now, pushing into Hartsville right now. But where you see those bright greens, those will be your strongest winds right now. So, just FYI, the wind will likely pick up before the heaviest rains move through. Denise, these storms are moving southeast. Northwest to southeast, which is pretty typical for a squall line. Pretty typical. Another update on power outages west of us in Robertson County. Emergency management reports 3,800 without power from this storm line. So again, I would not be surprised if we have some power outages here. If I lose power, I do have a contingency plan. We're on battery backup. That'll buy us a little bit of time. But my wife's Pathfinder has a home power source, they call it. So just a regular 110 outlet. So I'm going to run an extension cord out there. We're going to plug our router into that and a computer, and we're going to keep going. So hopefully and not destroy any equipment. We can't run anything high power off of it, but hopefully the couple of things I would run would continue going. If that doesn't work, though, for whatever reason, then I'll get in the car and we'll head to cell service or whatever. So any disruption would be minimal in that situation. Eventually, we'll have a generator. And again, that's why I encourage you to support us. Again, we'll eventually have a generator and not have to worry as much about that. But we'll know here soon if I lose power or not, because these storms will be knocking on my door here any moment. Let's go back to that Hermitage Springs camera again. It is, again, coming a good storm here right now. Heaviest rain now on top of you. And it is coming a gully washer right now. Will says, how bad is Lebanon going to get it? Which you're in our extended viewing area. Again, it's the same deal for y'all. I mean, you're under the severe thunderstorm warning. The same exact warning for the potential of damaging straight line winds and quarter-size hail. So, again, it's just going to be a matter of if these storms intensify or not as they continue towards the southeast. But it's the same story as it is for Smith and Trousdale and Jackson and Macon counties. Sonora on YouTube says hailing in Lafayette towards Red Bull and Springs. So between Lafayette and Red Bull and Springs, it is hailing. Pretty decent hail core too, I can see on radar. This has probably moved a bit. This product runs a little bit behind the standard reflectivity that we look at, but this is definitely a pretty decent sign of maybe some nickel to perhaps even some quarter size hail, possibly. I'd say based on that report, probably somewhere in this area by this point, and then again, that is moving towards the southeast. So again, that is something we'll watch as it moves towards Russell Hill. Of course, I'm watching it myself because I'm hoping it stays away from me. I don't want that, but nobody does. Nobody wants hail. So this is what we're going to do here over the next couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours. We'll just sit here and watch these storms roll through. We'll be live for them, again, as they continue on through. Looks like we have over 2,000 viewers right now across our platforms. Again, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm sure that number will probably tick upwards with time if we get a new warning farther south and east. I'm sure once Putnam County enters the fold with a warning, we'll probably get an increase there. But again, no imminent tornado threat or anything. That's good news right now. Doesn't mean something won't spin up, and we're definitely watching out for that. Right now, I'm not seeing any signs of rotation, though. So, but that is something I'm definitely going to be keeping a close eye on. As we continue along here. Violet says there are tornadoes all over southern Kentucky. Yeah, it's not good. I'll turn the radar over to here, and yeah, you got a couple different supercells up this way. This tornado's been on the ground since Somerset, still continuing onward. It's been on the ground for over an hour, it looks like, and I don't know. I've been watching it closely. Obviously, we've been watching the weather here, but certainly seems like that's probably been on the ground the majority of the time it's been active. And oh man, another observed tornado east of Somerset, riding pretty much along the exact same path and really close to it as the previous storm. That is just unbelievable stuff there. Just my heart goes out to those people. Lord be with them. That's Yes, Rhonda, I greatly appreciate the support. I can't, the way I have it set up, I can't see the stars coming in, but that it is appreciated. Again, y'all support, it means a lot. Again, it allows me to be here and continue doing this thing and making it bigger and investing in new technologies to only make it better as we go along. We'll take another look at that Hermitage Springs camera again. I know you are probably tired of hearing about Hermitage Springs, but it is our closest camera to all the action right now. We will pull up some more cameras here in just a moment, though. We're about to get into some more densely concentrated areas of our tower cam network. But you can see just a good wind-driven rain right now in Hermitage Springs. Just, again, an absolute gully washer right now. Any steep gravel driveways, this is definitely not what you want. As all your gravel gets washed out into the road. Tremendous amount of lightning embedded within this storm. Very gusty winds now, too. In fact, winds really picking up now in Hermitage Springs. We're now at 20 miles per hour at our tower campsite. Maybe stronger than that, though, based on what we can see from the camera view. Getting up closer to 30 miles per hour now. Again, sideways rain here in Hermitage Springs. This is western Clay County, for those not familiar with where we're looking at. So we're going to stay on this just a little bit longer. Still looking for any possible signs of rotation. Not seeing anything all that significant. But it is something I'm going to continue watching for very closely. Of course, the Weather Service is monitoring for that too. But again, what you see here in Hermitage Springs, I know you can't see much because it's dark, but you can expect this pretty much wherever you are in the Upper Cumberland region. It's going to be an intense storm. Whether or not winds reach severe limits or not, you'll still have gusty winds. You'll still have lightning and big-time downpours. Kelly says, I don't see hail in Lafayette. Not everyone's going to see hail. It's more sporadic. That hail core went east of Lafayette. So, again, the warning itself does mention the potential for large hail and damaging winds. It doesn't mean everyone in the warning will see that, but it is possible anywhere in the warning, if that makes sense. So, again, not seeing much other than it's an intense storm here in Hermitage Springs, so I'm going to clear off this camera view. Let's go to Salina now. Salina, this is about to be on top of you too. And we'll give this a second to load the latest imagery from Salina. But again, just now, perhaps seeing a little bit of light rain in Salina, but the heaviest activity is still back to your northwest. Just about to move through. So you can see the lightning there off in the distance. The camera's starting to shake as those winds pick up in Salina. I am seeing, and I'm not saying this to concern anyone, it's just a little feature, a little blip on radar. But right in here, just north of Russell Hill, and actually the last radar frame before this one is a little bit clearer picture, but maybe a little bit of rotation trying to occur here. Nothing concrete, nothing tight, nothing imminent on the ground or anything like that, by no means. But it is something we're watching for, though. Let's see if I can back this up a frame. Right in there. So we're watching that. Again, nothing concerning right now. Just, again, we're watching little features like that. Just in case anything were to tighten up, as that can happen in a hurry. My favorite question of all the questions, will it get bad in insert location here? I don't know. No, it's going to be pretty rough no matter where you're at. I don't think there's any location that's not going to get heavy rain, lightning, wind. The question is, will the storm be severe as it rolls through your location? I will say it does look like we might be trying to get a little bit more of a bowing structure going on here, which means the winds may be trying to intensify somewhat. Just to the south of Hartsville, near Russell Hill. So we'll have to watch that as it pushes into Smith County, Jackson County, Clay County. So it's little things like that we're watching for. These storms may try to get a little bit more organized. They continue to move towards the southeast. But as far as how intense the storms will be at your location, again, it's wait and see. It is absolutely wait and see. All areas of the Upper Cumberland will see these storms, though, over the next couple of hours. And they are moving from northwest to southeast. So we're just now getting these storms in Lafayette, Hartsville, Salina, and some activity now developing out towards Byrdstown. In fact, we have another new tower cam. Byrdstown. Take a look at the view from there right now. as these storms approach. You can see the wind picking up a bit. Now, the main line itself is still back to your northwest, but this is activity that has popped up out ahead of the main line. And great that we now have a tower cam view again in the Byrdstown area. Not in Byrdstown proper. This is more just to the southeast of Byrdstown, west of Moodyville is where this is located. But again, close enough to Byrdstown that we'll call it Byrdstown, but again, just a little bit to the south. But you get the point. It's close to Byrdstown, so we're just going to call it the Byrdstown Tower Cam. So again, that is the view there. We just had our power flicker. I think I'm still live though, so that's good. It looks like the stream is still getting out to y'all. That was weird. Tell y'all what, let's go back to radar. I'm gonna go full screen on radar, and I'm going to turn a couple of monitors back on that just cut off briefly. I think we might have had a power outage somewhere up the line, not here, but close enough that it caused our power to flicker briefly. We do have battery backups installed, so it didn't totally knock us offline, but it did take a couple of our screens down. So I'm going to get those back up now. Y'all should still be able to hear me. I'm on the wireless mic. So technical things I'm working on this. What I'm doing now, I'm changing our monitors, putting those back on so I can make sure that the stream is getting out to y'all. That's how I am able to keep up with that, so that y'all can see and hear me. So I just have YouTube pulled up. And over 400 of y'all watching on YouTube alone. That's pretty cool. YouTube and Hub Plus, the Hub Plus Roku app, those are your two best ways to watch us if you're wanting to pull us up on TV rather than having to cast from Facebook. You don't even have to have a YouTube account. And of course, Hub Plus is free as well. So definitely check us out there. Of course, we have the Upper Cumberland Weather Channel that streams 24/7 to those platforms as well. So let's see, am I still on camera? Yes, there I am. Had a couple of screens turn off behind me. Not too worried about that. But going back to radar, new severe thunderstorm warning just issued right as I sat back down. Again, Weather Service continuing that potential for quarter-sized hail and damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, all within this yellow polygon. I'll take this full screen again so you can get a better look at all the areas. This does include the city of Cookeville, Carthage, Gainesboro, Livingston, Jamestown, all included, and Byrdstown in the severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 12:30 a.m. Our UPS systems are still clicking back here, so I'm wondering if we have some power outages ongoing in a few spots. Let me know in the comments if your power's out. Brianna says power outage in Burkesville, Kentucky, so maybe that is affecting us in some way. I know the power grid's kind of finicky like that. If you get a power outage somewhere, it can travel downstream even if it's nowhere near you. I've seen that happen a couple of times with more intense storms. But this is now moving into northern Smith County, northwestern Jackson County, and on into central Clay County, the leading edge of this. So let's go to our Haydenburg Tower Cam. This is northwestern Jackson County. Take a look from there as the storm approaches. Pretty good view from there of this storm. Still not seeing any signs of rotation anywhere, so that's good. But again, these are intense storms. Just now arriving to my location in northern Smith County. It's where I'm located out of. The Pleasant Shade area. But back to radar again. There's your line extending from northern Smith County onto the northwestern Jackson County and up into central Clay County. These storms are continuing to move towards the southeast. So Cookeville, these will be to you within the next hour, less than an hour. These will be to Cookeville. Looking at our Cookeville tower cam, nothing going on right now. This is all back to your northwest, but this will be a good tower cam we'll be able to reference once these storms get closer, and you are included in this severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm sure we'll get more people tuning in. As we go along. Michelle says western Macon County was rough for a little while. I can certainly believe it. I think it's going to be rough for all of us at one point or another. I am very close to hearing the storm outside. Actually, I have not heard it yet. It's on top of me, but maybe I'll get lucky and the wind won't be quite as significant here. Just want to get these storms on out of my location without any power outages. That way I don't have to worry about having to figure anything out on the fly to stay alive. That's always fun. Connie says, what time for Crossville? You still got a couple hours, Connie. Samantha says, getting rough in Pleasant Shade. Small hail, lights flickering. I have seen the lights flicker here too. So, continuing live coverage. I mean, it is what it is at this point. Severe storms. Nothing tornadic. That's the good news, at least right now that we can see. We've been looking at velocity, making sure we don't see any signs of rotation. Still not seeing anything co-located with reflectivity that would really stand out to me as something of concern. So that is good. But intense winds along this line, something we'll have to continue to watch. Let's go back to Salina again. Tower cam there. Wind's likely picking up right now in Salina as this heavier activity rolls on through. Again, you're in this severe thunderstorm warning. Continues for you until 11:45, and then just to your southeast, the new severe thunderstorm warning in effect till 12:30 a.m. Lori says no power in Salina. Well, depends on which part of Salina you're in, because there is power in Salina, as we can see. But it depends on where you're at, though. This is a live view, but there may be portions of the town without power. So, obviously, where you're at, you are without power. So, that, don't know if that would be good or bad for you. It could be localized, and hopefully they'll be able to get that restored for you soon. See the wind really picking up right now in Salina. Again, very intense storm rolling through right now. Let's go back to Haydenburg, northwestern Jackson County. As the storm moves into that area as well. And camera just caught up to real time there, and just a big downpour there right now. Danielle says lights are flickering in Gainsboro. Brooke asks, do you know when Sparta should expect storms? Again, same for you as is for Crossville and other areas, probably a couple of hours. So at least an hour and a half, if not 2 hours before these storms reach you. So you got a little ways to go. And we just had another power flicker here. So there's some stuff going on upstream from us. Certainly, just crossing my fingers our power stays on here, because that is not something I want to have to deal with tonight. We have to, but Susan says heat, lightning, and Carthage. Oh, Susan. Oh. To be fair, I've not engaged in that discussion in a long time. But heat lightning is not actually a thing. Heat lightning is actually real lightning from a storm that's off in the distance. So whenever you see lightning flashing in the distance, that is actual lightning from a storm. It may be too far away to hear the thunder, but it is, and you can see lightning from sometimes hundreds of miles away. It's, especially if you get taller updrafts, it's pretty crazy how far away you can see lightning from. Man, we keep taking hits on our battery supply thing here. Dang. I'm just assuming every time that takes a hit, somebody's losing power somewhere. Ellen says, what state? We're in Tennessee. You can probably tell by my accent. Andy says it's going to be calmed down before crossful. Again, these are likely going to be intense for all of us. Now, as far as severity goes, again, that much remains to be seen. Haydenburg, by the way, we've had a 33 mile per hour wind gust in the last 30 seconds, maybe a bit stronger than that. So a very intense storm rolling over top of Haydenburg. It's northwestern Jackson County we're looking at here. That's why we're on this view, because the storm is literally on top of y'all right now. Salina, let's go back to that camera, because it's the same story for y'all as the storm. The brunt of it is on top of you right now. See the camera really shaking in the wind there. The rain picking up. Let's go to the Cordell Hole Dam, north of Carthage, another new camera site that we have here. We can take a look at. See the rain really starting to come down here as well. Looks like we've had a 30 mile per hour wind gust in the last 5 minutes, with winds picking up once again. Here again, just north of Carthage. Carthage. Take a look at the tower cam there. And we've had some connectivity issues with this one we're going to address here hopefully next week. So we'll get that one straightened out and working again. But we do have the core. Well, there it goes. There's our camera in Carthage. And see it shaking there in the wind a bit. See the lightning. As the same intense storm rolls through. Again, winds really picking up right now in Carthage. See the camera really shaking there. It's kind of cutting in and out a bit, but again, a very intense storm. But the Cordell Hole camera, just to the north along Turkey Creek Highway, close enough to Carthage, you can get the idea of what's going on in Carthage from this camera. And this scene is repeating itself all across northern Smith County, as we can see on radar again. Intense storm activity extending from Rome and Rock City on up into Riddleton, moving into Tanglewood, Monaville, up into Pleasant Shade, Difficult, Defeated, Kentville, you name it. It is coming a pretty intense storm right now. I'm sure some of my neighbors' driveways up the roads will be washing out into the road. Man, when you get a good gully washer like this, it's especially if you got a steep driveway with gravel, it's just not fun to deal with. These storms remain pretty intense all along this line, from Carthage on up into now Gainsboro, Salina, moving into Byrdstown, Cookville still have maybe another 30 minutes to go before these storms are to you. You are included in this severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 12:30 a.m. I'm not answering the question of how bad I think it will be at X location because there's no way to know. We're just going to have to watch radar. We're going to have to watch our tower cams and see what happens. Overall, there's been a little bit of a downward trend. Every now and then these storms will pulse up a bit, but the overall trend is for them to weaken a bit. That doesn't mean that will continue as they move south and east. Last run of the HRRR model I looked at certainly didn't think that was going to be the case. So I think these will still be pretty intense for all of us. It's just something we'll have to watch. I will say in the Nashville area, points west, these storms are a lot less organized. In fact, the Weather Service isn't even putting out a warning for this. This is a significant weather advisory, or at least to be known as that. So we'll see what happens as they continue to move towards the south and east. But again, we do remain under a tornado watch until 3 a.m. So that threat of severe weather will continue until that point. Now, if you're in Lafayette, I'll go ahead and give you the all clear. The severe threat has moved south and east of you. That's about the only area. You and Hartsville, I feel pretty good about Hartsville too. Y'all have an all clear. Red Bull and Springs. In fact, I'll draw a line here really from Hartsville up to Lafayette, Red Bull and Springs, Hermitage Springs. If you are northwest of here, kind of hard to see my check marks there, but you have the all clear. If you're south and east of that line, though, not yet. It's on top of you, and then certainly the farther south and east you are, you still have. Still have to wait for these storms to roll through. Melissa says wind is absolutely crazy in the Carthage area. Let's go back to the Carthage tower cam again. Take a look at the live view. You can see the camera really shaking there. Winds have gusted to 30 miles per hour at our tower campsite. Now, the wind instrumentation, just for the limitations of this tower, is mounted a little bit lower than where you'd want it to be. I don't think we're quite at 30 feet, so wind's likely stronger than what our instrumentation is measuring. Certainly see the camera shaking there, and it's cutting in and out. We got a connectivity thing with our hardware there we got to fix here in the next week or so. But again, intense storm in Carthage right now. We can go just north of Carthage, along Turkey Creek Highway, Cordell Hull Dam general area. And again, you can see intense rain from this view. Again, this same activity extends northeast. So let's look at Haydenburg again. This is northwestern Jackson County. Again, pretty much an identical picture here. You can see the lightning. Salina, it's on top of you too. It's the great thing about our tower cams. We can see all these live views in real time as these storms move through. Let's go to Gainsboro. Got our Gainsboro tower cam. Y'all are now getting into the leading edge of this activity. Looks like we're froze up here. Let's see if this will catch up. Not sure why that's not loading correctly. We'll pop over to Granville, though. This should be a similar picture over at the marina at Wildwood. Again, our tower cam network is growing. I've lost count. I think we're now at 30 cameras, maybe even a couple more than that, just in our viewing area here in the Upper Cumberland, and more still to come, at least a dozen plus more on the way. So getting to be pretty densely concentrated. Again, that's your live view from Granville. Let's go back to Carthage again and see if it's loading, and it is now. And it went out again. Let's look at Rock City. This is western Smith County. Give this a second to load. Again, intense storm over Rock City right now. Chestnut Mound, eastern Smith County. We're just going to keep looking at our tower cam views. Again, this is ground truth as to what's happening. Certainly, these storms are intense. Although, based on radar trends, may not be quite reaching severe thresholds, and we hope that trend continues. I don't think there's a guarantee that it will, but you see the lightning flickering off in the distance, light rain beginning to fall in Chestnut Mound, but the heaviest activity still to your northwest. Soon to push through. On radar, let's go back to radar again. Livingston is just now reaching you. We don't yet have a tower cam in Livingston. We will soon. Again, the heaviest activity now reaching Livingston right now. Byrdstown has been all around you for a little while now, but you're about to get that final push here in a few minutes in Byrdstown. In fact, we can look at the tower cam there as this moves through. And there's your live view right now from just south of Byrdstown, west of Moodyville. And again, there's going to be strong winds pretty much all along this line, no matter where you are. I keep checking for any signs of potential rotation, not seeing any right now. So these storms are pretty intense. They're not the most organized, though, but that doesn't mean they won't reorganize. They certainly could. We'll just have to wait and see. I think our most organized storm right now would be the one pushing through Livingston at the moment and Byrdstown. So very gusty winds likely pushing through. Again, upwards of 60 miles per hour possible. Storm is a little less organized. It rolls through Gainesboro. Again, we're still seeing the gusty winds and heavy rain. I don't want to take away from that. But as far as meeting that threshold for 60 mile per hour wind gusts for the warning, I don't know if we're quite getting there yet. Should be calming down quite a bit now for Macon County, western Clay County, Trousdale County, far northern Smith County, including where I'm at. We still have power, Lord willing, that will stay, that will remain the case. But yeah, here we are. See if we can check out where the hail is located right now. See if you'd be reporting hail. And really pretty much not necessarily all along this line, but in many places along this line we're seeing hail, at least some maybe dime-sized hail, if not a little bit larger in a couple of spots here in Carthage, on really on up into Pleasant Shade, and then back into Gainesboro, Whitleyville, Salina, Livingston, all these locations where you see these blues and greens and yellows. That's likely hail falling, at least some small hail. And again, this is your reflectivity, so the darker shades you see, the reds and oranges, that's very heavy rain. Jesse says, hail in the middle of Carthage just started. See if we get our Carthage tower cam to load. Yep. Intense over Carthage right now. A lot of lightning embedded within this. Again, I told y'all, it's probably going to scare the dogs as it rolls through. As of right now, we're taking more of a relaxed approach to this coverage just because these storms aren't the most organized we've ever seen. Doesn't mean they won't become more organized. They certainly could in a hurry, but we've not seen any active tornado warnings for our immediate viewing area, which is great. We hope it remains that way. Doesn't mean it will. But again, these storms are continuing to push towards the south and east. So Livingston, it is on top of you right now. It will continue to rain heavily and be windy for at least a little while. Bardstown on top of you too, Gainsborough, Carthage. Now Gornsville getting in on the action, back towards New Middleton. Cookville, you still have another probably 15 to 20 minutes. So got some good news. At least a couple of counties in our immediate viewing area have been removed from the tornado watch. So Macon and Trousdale counties, while you still may hear some thunder in the distance, you still got some light rain. Your severe threat has completely ended. You can see at the bottom of your screen there, Sumner County as well removed from the tornado watch. So y'all have no more severe weather worries for the rest of the night, nor for your Saturday. Saturday sunshine returns. So y'all are good to get in the bed. But those south and east, we still have a ways to go. McMinnville, just now noticed this. We have some activity popping up down in McMinnville. We'll have to watch that closely in case that becomes more organized. Has a look about it. We're going to keep an eye on that. Any activity that pops up out ahead of this line will certainly be deserving of our attention. Again, these storms are just now getting going, but we're going to have to keep a close eye on those as they move towards the east. As of right now, nothing of imminent concern. There is some lightning with this, though. They are pretty strong, but we'll keep a close eye on those. They could become severe with time, potentially. Not saying they will, just potentially. It's like the Weather Service is issuing an advisory farther downstream. I believe. Yep, there it is. You can see that gray polygon that faintly is on the screen now. So for this segment of storms here, really just expecting some wind to move across these areas up to 50 miles per hour with this outflow boundary. So Smithville, northern Warren County, back into Cannon County, that's moving your direction. Not a lot of storm activities, some strong wind pushing your way. Again, with that advisory being issued farther north, again, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect until 12:30. And storm might be trying to get a little more organized here across Overton County into eastern Pickett, near the Pickett-Fentress County line. So that's something we'll watch for. Let's take a look at some more tower cams. Let's go to Dodson Branch, southeast Jackson County. Live view from there. And looks like we've lost that camera, so never mind. Let's go back to Granville. There at the marina again, intense storm on top of you. You can see the lightning. Tremendous amount of lightning with these storms. Anna Marie Hernandez, very good question here. In a thunderstorm warning, so a severe thunderstorm warning, do you go to the basement or just be indoors? Just be indoors away from windows. Tornado warning, that's when you want to get to your basement, lowest level, centrally located room, the lowest level of a sturdy structure. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. But again, we have no tornado warnings right now, thankfully. Now, if you want to go to your basement, by all means, go there. But again, right now, we're not seeing anything tornadic, which is good. But these are intense storms, though. Don't want to take away from that. as we can clearly see here on radar, extending across the Pickett County, Fentress County line on into Livingston, Alpine, down into Dodson Branch, Center Grove, Granville, Elmwood, Gordonsville, New Middleton, all getting hit pretty hard by this line. So, uh-oh. There we go. Let's take a look at our Gentry tower cams. This is northwestern Putnam County, which we may be having a couple of power issues at a few of these sites. Again, we've had some lights. There it goes. Those are Gentry tower cams, so it's back up now. See the wind really picking up right now in Gentry. Again, this is northwestern Putnam County, and the brunt of these storms just about to push through there. Take a look at Chestnut Mound up in Pea Ridge, eastern Smith County. Again, the same story. Intense storm on top of y'all right now, really beginning to pick up here in Chestnut Mound. Let's take a look at Baxter. Baxter is not storming yet, but it is on your heels. This will be pushing into Baxter within the next 15 minutes or so. The Weather Service office in Morristown is extending the severe thunderstorm warning east to include northern Morgan County and a good chunk of Scott County. So just FYI. Sunbright, Deer Lodge, Midway, Huntsville, Oneida, all included in that new severe thunderstorm warning. In effect until 1:30 a.m. Eastern, 12:30 Central. And is essentially just an extension of the existing severe thunderstorm warning issued by NWS Nashville. Mickey says the wind is horrible in Livingston. And again, we don't have a tower cam in Livingston yet. We will soon. But again, we can see on radar though. Yes, intense storm on top of you for sure. It's really intense for everyone. Certain areas it's more intense than others. Certainly most organized, though, in the Livingston area compared to other locations. Going back to that other storm activity, though, eastern Warren County extending into Van Buren County. Still pretty strong. Still seeing some lightning with this, but not all that organized, so we'll keep an eye on that in case that were to intensify and organize some more. Certainly has some looks with these cells that I think worth paying attention to, but right now, nothing of immediate concern. Dylan says, can you pull up the Byrdstown camera? Yes, I can. We have so many cameras now. I mean, it's almost overwhelming in a good way, in a very good way. It's easy to forget where we have cameras at now. There's so many of them. Yeah, Byrdstown's a good one we can pull up, and yeah, it's intense. Can't see much here, but again, very intense storm. This is actually just south of Byrdstown to the west of Moodyville is where this camera is located. Big and intense storm now. Let's go back. Let's look at Cookeville. Cookeville, this storm is not yet to you. We're looking towards the south and southeast from Cookeville. We're looking at Willow Avenue, looking back towards the interstate. You can see the cross on the hill. But this image will likely change here soon as this storm line approaches. Let's go back to Gentry, northwestern Putnam County. Things should be picking up there here soon as we wait for the latest imagery to load. Ashley says Jamestown just got the nasty wind. And that would actually be the outflow boundary. The intense rain still back to your northwest, so you'll get it again here in the next 10 minutes or so for Jamestown. In fact, we can look at our Jamestown tower cam. Let this catch up to real time. Again, severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 12:30 a.m. for Fentress County, Overton County, central northern Putnam County, most of Jackson County, and central and southern Smith County. Let's go look at Baxter. Baxter is just about to be on top of you here soon. See the lightning there off in the distance. So somebody asked if I could pull up the Salina camera. Salina is actually good to go now. In fact, Salina, y'all are no longer in the severe thunderstorm warning. Your severe threat has ended, so you're in the all clear in Salina. It's still raining. It will rain for probably a couple more hours, but your severe threat has ended. Still seeing some hail embedded within these storms. Right over top of Chestnut Mound, extending to just east of Gornsville, maybe into Lancaster. A little bit of hail scattered throughout Jackson County, maybe some pea-sized hail. Biggest hail core right now be west of Livingston, perhaps extending into the Livingston area, on into northeastern Overton County. Could have some dimes and nickels here, maybe even some quarters embedded. Caitlin says huge hail in Rickman. Says hail core may have pushed a little bit south and east. That product runs a little bit behind. Although I will say, wow, hail already in Rickman. Let's go to we got a tower cam there. Let's look at Rickman. So there's your live view from Rickman. And this will only intensify as these storms grow closer. Cassius says hail is in the middle of town in Livingston. Chris says pea-sized hail in Brush Creek. Still not seeing any signs of rotation embedded within these storms. So that's good, but they are still pretty intense. Most intense portion of the storm right now located over Livingston right now. Emergency Management in Overton County reports nickel and dime size hail in Livingston right now. So, which does correlate with radar. Jamie says, will Birdstown get another part of this? No. So your severe threat is winding down. You're still technically in the severe thunderstorm warning, but your conditions will be improving dramatically. Probably already, but it will only get better from here. So that's good news for y'all. Let's go to Jamestown again. See storms approach, y'all. Again, we have no active tornado warnings. That's good. We do have a tornado watch. This means conditions are favorable for severe weather development, including possible tornadoes. Doesn't mean anything is imminent. We only have one big, giant, severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now. So, and this may be all it will be for us tonight. I mean, that would be great. You know, just the wind, the rain. You know, hopefully keep power outages to a minimum. You know, that would be good. That would be a best case scenario, and maybe that's how this will unfold for us. But atmosphere's plenty juiced up. It's really just a wait and see game right now as to what will happen as these storms continue to march towards the south and east. If we look at radar, we can see that a lot less organization here across Smith County back into Wilson County. Still strong storms. But this activity back towards Nashville might be trying to pick up a bit. We'll have to watch this as it moves towards the east and southeast for areas like McMinnville, Smithville with time. Still poking around, not seeing any tightening of anything, which is good. Still strong winds embedded within this, though. Again, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour are possible anywhere inside this yellow polygon here. Elizabeth says, Salina in the clear for the night. Yes, I've already given y'all the all clear. Karen says 3 tornadoes of Somerset. Did another one happen? Goodness gracious. Man, they've had it bad up there. And it looks like they got a flash flood warning too. That's Might be getting some hail right now in Gentry. Let's take a look at the tower cam there again. Definitely a tremendous heavy downpour occurring. Some lightning embedded within this too. Again, to see a lot of lightning embedded within this. Baxter, we'll get a little bit better view of this storm in the distance as this moves into Baxter. See the wind really picking up, rocking your tower cam in Baxter right now. Wow, in the last 60 seconds, we've had a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust here. Even now. So very strong winds in Baxter moving through as we speak. So this severe thunderstorm warning may very well verify for Baxter. Same for Cookeville. So just a heads up, very intense winds moving into Baxter right now. Bloomington Springs, Silver Point, Boma. And this is moving towards Cookeville and Allgood. So just a heads up, what you see in Baxter on our tower cam, this is heading your way if you're in Cookeville. So, yeah, nothing tornadic here that we're seeing. This is purely a big wind, and that's why we're focused on this tower cam view. Now, I will say the wind reading you're seeing at the top of your screen, that's actually from the Upper Cumberland Airport, south of Cookeville, north of Sparta, in the last hour. So that's not a current reading from Baxter. We'll eventually have this configured where we can actually show you the winds in real time. That's something we'll work with the Radar Omega team on to implement, hopefully, maybe later this year we can get that going, but it's something we discussed and it is possible that we can do it, so that'll be really cool once we can integrate that into our setup here. But I do have it pulled up here in real time and I can call out these winds. Still about 40 miles per hour, at least where this wind instrumentation is mounted. It could certainly be stronger than that though, so again, if you're in Baxter, very intense winds, and the heaviest rain still back to your west over Gentry right now, and Buffalo Valley, Silver Point, pushing east, going to ride along I-40 and Highway 70, and again, we'll be moving into Cookeville here very soon, so Cookeville, you're going to see your winds pick up momentarily. In fact, we can look at our tower cam here in a second in Cookeville. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's pull up the Cookeville tower cam and see what's going on. And I'm actually going to rotate this towards the east, or excuse me, towards the west to get a better view of these storms as they move into Cookeville. So you'll see that move in real time as I adjust the camera view there. Again, this camera mounted on at the Putnam County EMA just off Willow Avenue north of I-40, just to give you some perspective. Again, we can see the lightning there in the distance as the storm pushes through. Again, we just saw in Baxter what's happening there with the wind really picking up, intense rain, lightning, just an intense storm all around. Wind still elevated right now in Baxter, and again, this is about to push into Cookeville, so we'll see this same scene play out in Cookeville here soon. I do want to reiterate, we're not looking at anything tornadic right now, but these are still pretty intense storms. The severe thunderstorm warning is set to expire at 12:30, so about 20 more minutes on this. If these storms keep the same appearance they have now, maybe this warning will be extended farther south than east, but we'll have to see. Smith County is still technically included in this warning, but this storm has become a lot less organized there, so I think you're probably in the clear, especially if you're north of Gordonsville, up in the Carthage, Pleasant Shade. Y'all have the all clear at this stage. There is some storm activity back towards Nashville. We'll see if any of that can maybe dip down towards southern Smith County. Certainly DeKalb, Warren County, we'll have to watch that for y'all. But definitely areas like Lafayette, Salina, Hartsville, y'all have the all clear for the rest of the night. Just an intense storm again sitting on top of Baxter, and that's what we're looking at live in real time. According to radar, this may pick up even more over the next couple of minutes. Kim says hailing in Boma. April says I hear the hail just outside of Baxter. So we have hail with this. And it is, again, a very intense storm moving through Baxter. Gentry, you're getting in on the back side of this. I had to mute myself, had to sneeze. Let's go back to Cookeville again as we watch this storm approach Cookeville. Certainly a lot of you watching in the Cookeville area. Feel free to share this stream if you're on Facebook, if you're on X. It means a lot. Certainly appreciate y'all's support. I know we have the different ways you can support us there at the bottom of the screen. In case you missed the announcement last week, I am officially full-time with Upper Cumberland Weather. I resigned from my day job I've talked about. I was working 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, at a day job that wasn't this. But now my full focus is on Upper Cumberland Weather. It was the goal all along when I launched this venture back in 2017, and we've hit that goal, and we're just going to continue growing from here as we go along. Susan says power flickering in South Cookeville. Jess says, what about Jamestown? And I don't want to leave y'all out. We'll go look at the Jamestown tower cam. Certainly as the storm moves into Jamestown right now as we speak, you're getting in on the leading edge of this. Livingston's still on top of y'all are getting hammered. We don't have a tower cam in Livingston, but y'all are definitely getting hammered there in Livingston right now. But you can see the live view from Jamestown. Winds have been strong in Baxter for the last probably 10 minutes or so, if not a little bit longer. Just a very intense storm sitting on top of y'all. But again, that's the current picture from Jamestown. I mean, it's pretty much the same scene no matter where you are. If you're in Baxter, Cookeville, in fact, Cookeville, you're getting in on this now. It's going to be the same scene no matter where you are. Just intense wind and lightning, torrential rain, and hail. Lots of hail scattered about too. It's like a pretty big hail course south of Livingston, another one in Baxter, which y'all have mentioned. And really just hail all along the leading edge of this line for the most part. I keep looking at velocity though. On my end, to have the velocity view put up on radar. I still don't see any signs of rotation, so that's good. So not worried about a tornado right now. Doesn't mean something can't spin up, but as of right now, it's not an immediate concern or anything. And I do mention, I do try to look at the comments, especially tonight. I know a lot of y'all are asking questions. Just understand, I am one person, so I don't have a staff here or anything. That's what we're working towards. That's what your support's going towards. It allows us to continue growing and put ourselves in that position where I can ultimately hire people, but meteorologists to work alongside me to hopefully better answer your questions. But again, when you're asking, a lot of you ask the same questions too, and I do mention a lot of these areas throughout the stream. So I am watching though. I want to go back to radar real quick. We're still seeing cells develop here south of Cookeville, down towards Sparta, extending down to Van Buren County, Spencer. We're going to watch these closely. They're maybe trying to get a little bit more organized. This could be a problem perhaps for southern Cumberland County, east of there. We'll keep an eye on those in case those become a little bit more organized. Right now, nothing of immediate concern though. And again, this line continues to push towards the south and east. It looks like the Weather Service is opting to put an advisory on these storms rather than another warning. So that's good. That's good. So we may get to a point at 12:30 where we don't have an active severe thunderstorm warning. We're at a step below that with an advisory now. Weather Service still mentioned the potential for wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour, which we have verified in Baxter. So this advisory, you can kind of see that faint gray shading there for White County, Cumberland County, southern central Putnam County, onto northern Van Buren County. Again, your weather radio will not sound for that as a step below a warning. Let's go back to our Actually, let's look at Cookeville again. Actually, Cookeville just went down. May have lost power in Cookeville. Y'all can verify that in the chat. But Baxter, we do have power, so we can look at the Baxter tower cam. Y'all are getting in on the back side of this in Baxter. So conditions should be improving here very soon. Probably our most intense storm is actually in Overton County, east of Livingston, approaching Allred and Crawford. About to move down Highway 85 there on the eastern end of Overton County. Just a heads up to y'all, about to be pretty intense. Let's go to Brotherton. This would be northeastern Putnam County, another new tower campsite just to the west of Monterey. Beginning to rain in Brotherton, but we'll likely see the storm intensify quite a bit as it rolls through. Again, this is northeastern Putnam County, just to the east of Allgood. And it looks like right now winds are beginning to pick up. Around 10 to 20 miles per hour right now. We'll likely see those winds increase some more. You can see the lightning. Let's go to Monterey, another new tower campsite. Got lots of new tower campsites. As we see the lightning here, you're still east of this activity, Monterey, but it will soon be to y'all. Let's look at Burgess. It's just north of Burgess Falls, southwest of Cookeville. Winds beginning to pick up here. Heavy rain moving in now. Trying to look at all of our tower cams we have in the way of these. Let's go to Clark Range. Clark Range, you're still to the southeast of all this, but it will soon turn nasty here pretty soon for y'all in Clark Range. Naomi asks, is Gainesboro in the clear for tonight? Yes, y'all are in the clear. And some areas of Cookeville may still have power. I'm not saying all of Cookeville's out power, but I think we may have lost power at our tower campsite anyway. Let's take a look at, see if our Rickman camera will load. This is Rickman, right in the middle of the storm here in southwestern Overton County. Your conditions should be improving here probably in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So if there's any good news for y'all, just some heavy rain right now over Rickman, maybe some hail embedded within this too. It's like our Cookeville camera's back up, so let's go back to Cookeville again. Very intense storm over Cookeville now. Moving in. See if I can point this back towards the interstate if we can get a little bit better view here. Oh, actually, looks like Putnam County EMA's controlling the camera too, so I'll let them move it around. Laura says Monterey ? Monterey. Here's Monterey. The storm's still west of you. You're seeing the lightning though in the distance. Pretty decent shelf cloud there. We can see being illuminated by the lightning. So your conditions will be deteriorating here soon. Again, not looking at anything tornadic right now. Not too worried about that. It's more of a little bit more of a laid back stream, thankfully. It's more laid back than I was thinking it would be. So not saying these aren't intense storms. They are. We're still seeing some power outages and the like, but not getting big time wind damage or anything, and that's what we want. We can do without power outages, but hopefully they won't be so significant that they can't be dealt with soon. Zach says Crossville, even more question marks. How many question marks we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 10 question marks. Crossville, 10 question marks. Well, Crossville, not a lot going on. You got to sail back to your west out ahead of this activity. We're watching. We're going to keep an eye on that. But again, nothing imminent for y'all. Got a lot of advisories being issued for this storm activity. We've transitioned to advisories being issued as opposed to warnings, so that's encouraging. MS has just got dead silent in Dodson Branch. It got dead silent because the heavy storm has moved to your southeast and you have the all clear for the rest of the night. Now you may still get some rain. And this way, hey, look, these storms are unnerving. Zach says, you think it get bad for southern Cumberland? God, I can't even count that many question marks you put there, dude. I don't know. So far, these storms have been showing a weakening trend. Doesn't mean that will continue. And you do have a storm moving into southern Cumberland County right now as we speak that has some lightning with it. So we'll see what happens with time as we go back to radar again. Let's pull up that Cookeville tower cam. So the storm is right over top of Cookeville as we speak. Fairy Lynn says Smithville has no lights and high wind. Looks like our tower cams are active in Smithville. Y'all had a very big gust of wind blow through. Some heavy rain soon to move in. You're not under a warning or anything, though. Just an advisory. But let's take a look at Smithville right now. Looks like the square does still have power. Wind is quite elevated right now, though. Actually had a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust at our camera here on the square just in the last 5 minutes. So Has some very intense winds push through. Let's go to another site here. This is the Upper Cumberland Airport, another new tower cam site. This is just south of the Putnam County, White County line. You can see the wind really picking up now here. About 20 to 30 mile per hour winds, maybe a bit stronger at times. Again, this is moving towards Sparta. Let's pull up our Monterey camera again as you're about to get hammered here in just a minute with some very heavy rain and wind. Yeah, I keep looking over here at y'all's comments, just looking for anything that stands out. April says just lost power in Cookville near Tennessee Tech. Jessica says chances of tornadoes at this point pretty low. Pretty low. Let's go back to radar again. And this severe thunderstorm warning is set to expire in less than 3 minutes. And that will leave us without any warnings except for this one on the eastern fringe of our extended viewing area for Scott County, including Oneida and Huntsville. That's in effect for another 18 minutes. But outside of that, though, we won't have any warnings unless the Weather Service issues a new warning. I don't see that happening, though. These storms have weakened considerably. Doesn't mean they won't re-intensify. We're going to stay alive. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. These are still strong storms, and we'll remain live with coverage until we get these on out of here. It's like the Weather Service in Morristown has upgraded this severe thunderstorm warning for Scott County, as well as Campbell County, and that's getting outside our viewing area, but they are mentioning the potential for damaging winds in excess of 70 miles per hour, which poses a considerable damage threat. So Huntsville, Oneida, just a heads up, this is heading your direction. It's already on top of you, but it is going to get pretty intense here as this continues to move towards the east into Campbell County. If we have anybody watching in La Follette and points north there, again, that's getting outside our viewing area, but just a heads up, got a pretty intense storm in your vicinity. You need to be indoors, away from windows if you're over that way. So we'll likely see some more counties removed from the tornado watch. Macon, Trousdale, and Sumner counties have already been removed. But I can pretty much tell you Smith, Jackson, Clay, Pickett, y'all pretty much have the all clear at this point too. We still may have some thunder, some rain still set to move through. Rain extends back up towards Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's where the clearing line is. Cookville, your conditions will be rapidly improving in a matter of minutes. So while it's still, you still have a pretty intense storm on top of you, again, that's about to improve dramatically. Same for Rickman, Livingston, your conditions have already improved. There goes your severe thunderstorm warning, so that has been allowed to expire. It has not been replaced. So at this time, the only warning in effect is, again, on the eastern fringe of our extended viewing area for Scott and outside our viewing area into Campbell County. Heather says, can you please talk about South Cumberland County? Yes, you have a non-threatening storm on top of you right now. Just some lightning, a little bit of wind, Nothing, can't handle. We can look at our Crossville tower cam though. If you notice, I pointed this out earlier. I did update our graphics here though, for our tower cams and a few other graphics. This one here, I'll go full screen. You can see I've added the county in the top right corner of the screen. I will push this through to our live channel here within the next week or so. So you'll see this change coming there too. But I get a lot of questions during our streams. Where is this camera located? What county is this in? So hopefully this addresses that sufficiently. You can at least know which county these tower cams are in. Because a lot of these communities, you get repeated community names in different counties. I mean, there's only so many names that can go around. So hopefully that answers that question. The storm in southern Cumberland County is intensifying just a bit. Might be getting a little bit of hail with this. Maybe some dime-size hail here near Midway and Lake Tansy, Thomas Springs. Another potential hail core here near Sparta and Bon Air, with some small hail continuing here along 111 up towards Monterey into southeastern Overton County. So we're still seeing some hail embedded within these storms, at least some small hail. Yes, Connie, we still have a tornado watch in Smith County, but it will be expired soon. The Weather Service waits until these storms get on down the way a bit, and then they clear out chunks of counties at a time. So the next big chunk will likely be coming here pretty soon. So, but I can go ahead and confidently give you an all clear, at least from Carthage and north. We still have some heavier storm activity here across eastern Wilson County from Tucker's Crossroads down to Noreen, soon to move through Watertown. So this may push through New Middleton, Gornsville, Hickman, Brush Creek here soon. Alexandria, we have a camera site there. This is behind DTC's big facility in Alexandria, if you know where that's located. And just some rain here, nothing too dramatic. Just wanted to pull up that view though. I do know a tower cam will soon be going live in Lebanon here soon, which I know is getting into the western fringe of our extended viewing area, but that'll definitely be a very handy camera to have once it's live. I also know Kingston is about to get one too. And one going up near Doyle in southern White County. So looking forward to all those and many more still to come. So Linda says, just sounds terrible in Gornsville. And yes, these aren't pleasant storms. And we mentioned that. We said these are going to be intense for most of us. You know, the lightning, the thunder will probably scare the dogs, and it may sound like World War III outside, but it's the severity. It's the kind of wind that can take part of the roof off your home or bring down trees and cause widespread power outages. We're not seeing that tonight. That we're very thankful for that, because there were some trends towards it looking like that might be what we were going to be dealing with tonight. Thankfully, that has not been the case. We've seen a few sporadic power outages. I'm sure a few trees down, but anywhere near as significant as what we could have seen. That doesn't mean they're not still strong. A thunderstorm, by its very definition, is a thunderstorm, thunder, lightning. And that's what we're looking at now at this point. Doesn't mean these storms won't re-intensify. And for those asking about Cumberland County for the 15th time, no, I'm kidding. Yes, it is storming in Cumberland County from Crossville and Point South. It's not severe. A little bit of hail, though. Still an intense storm. But, again, not severe. Now, your personal definition of severe may be different than the technical definition of severe. The threshold for a warning is damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail or larger, and we're not seeing any of that anywhere. All the tower cam sites I've looked at, the wind instrumentation, strongest winds I've seen maybe 40 miles per hour. We might have had some gusts higher than that our instrumentation didn't pick up on, but we haven't quite hit severe threshold, which is why we're not seeing these warnings being extended farther south. Does not mean that won't happen, though. We could see re-intensification of these storms. So it's something we're going to watch out for, but right now it's not something we're too worried about at the moment. So let's try to reset here just a bit, and let me take this full screen. Maybe full screen. And actually, before we do that, the Weather Service has gone ahead and removed several more counties from the tornado watch. So looking at the screen there, looks like Smith, Jackson, Pickett, Putnam, that's a big one. Overton and Fentress counties have all been removed from the tornado watch. So let's see if our camera's working over here. I do have the green screen. We're going to try it out. Well, actually, we're not going to because we've got a technical glitch. So give me 1 second here. Now, of course, it's not going to work. We have a green screen here, but the camera I have set up for it is very difficult to work with, and I feel like every time I go to use it, I don't think it's the camera, I think it's the interface I have to get the camera into the computer. For whatever reason, that one